I say, what old chaps and chapettes, Cubic Spells here, bringing you another phantasmic flash game review. Now, as some of you may have noticed, I'm quite a fan of that old-timey garb, like waistcoats and pocket watches and all that stuff. And the style of this game seems to suit me quite well, as it's all steampunkified and old-timey. It also has a touch of stiff upper libidus from the British variety. Or of the British variety. Either way. So, take out that old China tea set from the cupboard and make an old British brew while being appalled by anything out of your comfort zone by saying, I say! As we begin our review of the marvellous Nitrome game, Steamlands. Can we, like, cut the black and white stuff for a bit? It's, I don't know how Game Chat does it, really. Yeah, anyway, let's put on the old-timey stuff one more time for the theme song. And maybe a few other little bits. This game was created by Nitrome, and I've noticed them pop up quite recently with some rather interesting and unique looking flash games, and pretty much all of their games are in an awesome detailed retro style, which in itself is pretty cool, but this one is one of their best. I've got to say, I could play this for weeks. It's not a flat out shooter, so it's not completely dull and gun based, and it's not really a strategy game as it doesn't focus around the player's decision making skills, so I'm not really sure what kind of game it is, but it does say on the Nitrome wiki that it's a real-time strategy game, though I'm not convinced. It's also not a customization game, as the description of the game suggests. As it says, and I quote, "Take down enemy steam tanks by first customizing and building your very own steam tank." Objection! This is not true. You start every level with a pre-designed tank and only get to customize it throughout the game. Then, when you start a new level, it gives you a completely different tank. Now, when I first started, I thought that I've completed the level, I've customized my tank, I can keep with that tank, but no! As soon as the next level started, it was a new tank, completely different. And it does this with every single level. And I think this is just a huge mistake on Nitrome's part. I mean, if they had made this a fully customizable game, it would have been so much better. It would have opened up so many opportunities with levels and your own skills to actually make your own steam tanky thing, but it just kind of gives you them and expects you to deal with it, which I just think that's a big mistake, Nitrome, so please, if you make a sequel to this, please make it fully customizable. That would be so amazingly awesome of you. Please. The story of this game is basically that there's been a massive war in the late 19th century Europe, and for some reason everyone resorted to using massively complex steam-powered vehicles to get around. Oh, and also steal from each other, blow each other up, and let's not forget support whatever is left of the economy by buying deadly laser guns from shop vendors. Either way, it would be pretty cool to live in a world with steam-powered death machines trawling through the landscape. Wait a minute. Steam-powered death machines? Landscape? This sounds a lot like Mortal Engines, which is a book by Philip Reeves, and that's about giant moving cities that go around eating other giant moving cities. Although that's set in the future, and it's cities, not little things. But you can't deny the similarities, though I'm not accusing Nitrome of plagiarism. No. There are two buttons you can use to control your machine. Z is to move backwards and X is to move forwards, or each button could be used to make your vehicle slow down or speed up depending on how fast you're going, and which direction you're going. During battles you'll find that you're either going to keep moving forward because you have the upper hand, back away because it's a big bastard, or stay firm and static because you're pretty much evenly matched. You also drag the mouse to select your weapons and such. You can either click on each one individually or just drag the mouse across the screen to highlight everything. Then once you've highlighted what you want, just click on the part of the enemy you want to target and your arsenal of blasty things will destroy them. In this game you have an arsenal of weapons at your disposal, though it does depend on the level you're on, and sometimes you might not even get weapons in some levels, which sucks. Some of the weapons you get are turrets, which range from ones that will fire on the same level, ones that change their angle of fire, they're machine gun turrets, large and small, there are massive cannons that take ages to recharge, there are loads really. You also get projectile cannon things, which I suggest you place either at the top or at the back of your machine. These things will launch giant pinballs or something at your opponent, and ones you get in later levels do loads of damage. Only problem is that they get killed quite easily if your opponent has cannons on their own death machine. There is one last thing you can use if you really have no weapons left and are really left in shit's creek. You can stop fueling your vehicle and just lob coal at your opponent. It's not uncommon that you'll find both you and your enemy on your last legs and throwing coal at each other for a considerable amount of time. And there are also one or two secret weapons in the secret level editor, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
I say, is that all the artillery you can acquire in this simple distraction of a game?
Ah, well, if it isn't my old twin and arch nemesis, the typewriter fighter. What brings you here?
Well, I broke the boundaries of the premises when I broke through the jolly window.
Ah, right, well, why didn't you just teleport in like you usually do?
Teleporting hadn't been invented yet, you tool!
Stay in character.
Oh, well, I have no knowledge of this device you call a teleporter.
Oh, but of course! Wait, you broke my window?
Anyway, I'm here to criticize somewhat on the artillery of this game. You see, your weapons fire when you highlight and then click on your target, and this can be somewhat annoying when you need specific weapons to fire in specific places. Also, the static turrets sometimes don't fire, which is odd as they're right in front of your target and there's nothing stopping them from firing. Plus, you can't fire weapons everywhere. You're limited to what your boundaries of your vehicle are. And you can't pre-select the weapons you'd like to use before your level starts, which in itself is annoying.
Ah, these are all very valid points, Mr. Typewriter Fighter Man. But you have broken into my property, and henceforth I shall have to alert the authorities in Morse code of your arrival if you don't leave soon.
As you wish. Toodle-pip.
Well, that was easier than I thought it would be. Anyway, the vehicle you drive has many types of protection you can use, each coming in either small squares or large squares that you can place in pretty much any formation on your vehicle. There are 4 types of armour for your vehicle. The shoddiest being bronze, which has the maximum of 160 hit points. Then there's iron, which is slightly better and has a maximum of 300 hit points. Then steel, which has a maximum hit point resistance of 640. And finally the special armour you can acquire, which is the reflecting plate, which, as you can guess, reflects things. I'm not sure what the hit point amount it can take is. It's probably between iron and steel somewhere, but either way it's pretty damn cool. Another block you get is the booster, and they come in bronze, iron and steel. Their purpose is to increase the boundaries in which you can place weapons. There are also other things you can place onto your vehicle, and these are man blocks. And these are pretty useful. The first being the repairman, which is pretty much self-explanatory. If any blocks or weapons on your vehicle are damaged, you'll immediately be on the job and slowly repair it. This is useful after battle, but not so useful during one, as the weapons do more damage to the block than the repairman heals it. Second, we have the saboteur, who jumps onto the vehicle and attacks the block you tell him to attack. This usually means that the engine master of the vehicle you're attacking has to stop what he's doing and bat the guy off the block with a shovel, giving you time to deal more damage. Next is the saboteur jump master, who's like the saboteur, only he's launched from a cannon, so gets blocks from a higher up and much easier distance. The last useful man block is the grappler, who basically stops any saboteurs from damaging your vehicle by yanking them off with a hook. The last 2 man blocks you can't really use, they're more for protecting, and these are the passengers and the ammunition crates. As I said before about Nitron games, they all have a pretty distinct look to them. A retro yet detailed thing is going on, which is brilliant. The surfaces shine, the explosions explode, the characters all move fluently, the backgrounds are odd but wonderful, and everything just works so well. I'd love to see more Flash games in this style. Now for the music, which is quite samey. It's a militaristic background piece that's orchestrated and is on every screen you go on. It's just not a bad thing, but they do kind of blend into each other, though they are cool. And the music also heats up when you go into battle, which is also cool. Right, other features include medals after every level. I think they're based on how quickly you complete the level, shopkeepers who sell the flags and upgrades, and a secret level editor. Now, I've not actually been on the level editor, but from what I can tell, you can make your own levels, and you can put new guns on your vehicle that aren't available in the normal game. But I've not been on it, so I have no idea what it's like. Now to conclude on the escapades of this review, and I'm not even sure if that sentence made sense. Now, I love this game. It is truly awesome. Now, I admit some of the gameplay may get a bit repetitive during times, but some of the levels are just so challenging and creative, and the music just adds to the whole feel of it, and it's just done so well. The visuals are wonderful, and I just love everything about it. So, I'll be rewarding Steamlands an 8 out of 10. My second highest score that I've ever given a game. Also, I forgot to say thank you everyone for 100 subscribers. Here's to another 100. Or 1,000. I don't mind. Either way, more subscribers is good for me. Thanks, everyone. Now, I think I should conclude on this review, so join me next time when I shall be reviewing Fat Man Go. Fat Man Go? Whatever. See ya!
My love, my life, my band.